Okay, it's week 7 and time for your 6th paper, the synthesis. We're almost done with our Ways of Reading assignment series. Synthesis is the last one on the list, and it's the longest one so far. What is synthesis? A synthesis blends 2 or more sources and creates something distinct out of them. A good synthesis identifies a small theme or subtopic within a collection of essays to focus on in order to create a narrow and personalized position. Do you remember Kenneth Burke's unending conversation from a few weeks ago? Let me read it out loud again. Imagine that you enter a parlor. You come late. When you arrive, others have long preceded you, and they are engaged in a heated discussion. A discussion too heated for them to pause and tell you exactly what it is about. In fact, the discussion has already begun long before any of them got there, so that no one present is qualified to retrace for you all the steps that had gone before. You listen for a while until you decide that you have caught the tenor of the argument. Then you put in your oar. Someone answers, you answer him. Another comes to your defense. Another lines himself against you, to either the embarrassment or gratification of your opponent, depending on the quality of your ally's assistance. However, the discussion is interminable. The hour grows late, and you must depart. And you do depart, with the discussion still vigorously in progress. Oops, gotta go back. This quotation is a metaphor for the conversations that we have in higher education. With the synthesis form, you will be entering into an unending conversation. So, this is the specific prompt for your synthesis paper. You will write a synthesis within one of the 3 subtopics we have discussed so far this semester. Is college worth it? Trigger warnings, and technology and learning. You will blend the sources we have read in class with information from your own experience, opinion, and research. You will look for a narrow, personalized take on the larger debate and put in your oar in that unending conversation. So, the synthesis requirements for this paper are a narrow thesis statement, 2 sources from class readings, 1 source of your own, 2 direct quotes, 1 paragraph addressing the opposing view, a kick-ass title, 4 to 7 pages, a works cited page, and all 3 ethos, pathos, and logos. Nuts and bolts for the synthesis is that it's due next Sunday, not the coming Sunday, but the Sunday after this Sunday. It's worth 20 points. The length should be between 4 to 7 pages, and then you should have a works cited page on top of that. And you read that right. You get 2 weeks to work on this paper. It's a little longer, so you get a little more time. The synthesis is also worth more points. So if you look at the grading guide, you'll notice that the individual items on the grading rubric are worth more. One of the assignments you'll do this week will be to apply the grading rubric to an example essay, so you'll get a chance to look at the rubric more closely. Another thing to look out for with this assignment is that we'll be meeting in the library in room 212 next week to get an introduction to library resources and spend some time working with the library databases. So mark your calendars. A lot of students think they're already pretty good at researching the internet for sources, and I'm sure many of you are. But you'd be surprised by all the tricks our librarians have for finding resources. They're even better at Googling than the average person. So take those librarians seriously. Okay, I'm going to finish up with a few synthesis pro tips. Although this assignment requires you to use sources, you need to keep in control. Don't let your sources use you. Instead, keep your own voice as the central one. Also, using ethos, pathos, and logos is an important part of the assignment. Don't neglect ethos and pathos in your focus on sources. Use your own personal experiences and even narrative writing elements to help bring in all elements of the rhetorical triangle. Finally, here are some phrases to make synthesis more explicit. In comparison, in contrast, similarly, moreover, compared to, relative to, etc. Okay, time to let you get to work. Happy synthesizing!